Lost your grip and I lost myself. Lost myself trying to set you free. Lost myself when I gave you the best of me. Lost myself in the crowd time that you never heard. Lost myself, oh, when will I ever learn?
So hi, this is Steve Hefter for Rock, Roots, and Blues Live. I'm backstage at the Birchmere in Alexandria, Virginia, with the amazing up-and-coming Samantha Fish. Hi, Sam.
Hi, how you doing?
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to sit and talk with you.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're on tour now for supporting your brand new album.
Yes.
Called Wild Hearts.
Yes.
And how is this album different than your other two albums?
You know, it was like I was just telling you earlier. It was the right time. You know, I'd written a bunch of songs. I worked with I'd worked with the songwriter Jim McCormick, and you know, I just was feeling more inspired. I'd kind of grown a lot over the last couple of years just from touring and working and collaborating with others, and I just feel like it was the right time to make a project. It was our third solo record, and we've grown a lot. So I feel like it's just where I'm at now. It's definitely, I'd hope it's further along than my previous efforts,
Yeah, I think I've told you just recently, just a minute ago, that I've had the album for a few weeks and I've had a chance to listen to it, and there's not one track on the album that you can say, oh, this isn't really up to par. They're
thanks.
all great, and they're
Thank
all
you.
different.
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
They are. We had fun recording them. They were all different feels, and we didn't struggle in the studio. It wasn't like, oh, this comes kind of like this one, so we have to do something sort of crazy to make it work in these songs. It was all really honest and natural, and it's something that we all felt. Luther's mission on this record was to help me make something that I could play live.
Luther Dickinson.
Yeah, Luther Dickinson produced it, and he said, that was something we both wanted, was something that I could play all these songs for everybody. That's the worst thing, when you have a really cool song and you can't do anything with it.
So other than producing the album, Luther played bass.
He did. He
right?
played bass on
and
it.
He played guitar on a few songs.
He played guitar. He played a lap steel a lot, which it's my lap steel. I bought it to learn, and I have no idea when I'm gonna be able to figure that thing out. But he did such an amazing job. I mean, his guitar work's incredible. He communicates with his instrument. It's amazing. I mean, and I loved working with him. He played bass. He played some acoustic guitars.
Have
He
you
was
worked
all
with him
over.
before?
No, it was
No?
my first time. I couldn't believe he took on the job. It was just sort of I'd heard his new record with the North Mississippi All-Stars, and I knew that he and Cody kind of self-produced that, and I loved the sounds and the unique approach and the textures, and it just felt fresh, and I wanted that.
And you got it.
I did. He did a great job.
Well, I've noticed that you're surrounding yourself with very talented people. Excuse me.
The talented people make me look good. They do.
There's a reason they're coming to surround you.
They're amazing. I've been very lucky. I've had some great producers. I've had just some incredible collaborations. I'm a lucky girl. I gotta say, and I'm so appreciative of it.
Did you ever expect you to be where you are now?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Is this? I don't think I ever saw like the points in between. You kind of see what you want and your goal, and you see it so far away. But it's all these little stepping stones to get to where that is. It's really cool to kind of fill in the gap. I'm enjoying the ride for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you started playing guitar a little later than most, right?
Yeah, I did. I was 15. I played drums first. I started on drums, which was my parents' worst nightmare. So, yeah. Guitar started around 15. and the singing did too. It was all, I started singing to accompany the guitar playing, and so I didn't even sing before that either. So
Really?
it happened all at the same time. Thank God I played drums because I knew how to count, so it was good.
It's like Tab Benoit played drums before he played guitar.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Tab, and I never knew that he played drums till like years later, so that makes sense.
The first time I saw you was here last year with Tab on the Six Strings Down tour.
He's amazing.
You stole the show.
No.
No, you stole the show.
I'm in awe of those guys. Like Tommy Castro was here with them too, and yeah, Tab's one of those players that it's just all him. He's just so unique. His sound is, He inspired me he's like, get rid of the pedals, quit doing that. And he was right, because, you want to talk to people with your fingers, not with your feet.
And now you got that Cat 5 working?
I turned it up. All I had to do was turn it up. I had no idea. The thing just sings, so okay.
Yeah, I took it. There's a picture I took of you that's out there, and it has Tab's alligator head in it, so everybody knows.
They know it was that show, yeah.
Was that Tab?
Yeah. Oh, those guys are incredible. It was a lot of fun to be on that tour, and I think this was one of the first dates we did with them. But yeah, I've been a fan of his since I was probably 18 or 19 years old when I discovered him for myself, and yeah, it's great.
And so, who were your influences? So there's probably a set of older players that were influences, and then I'm also interested in who their newer influences.
Okay. Well, when I started playing, I think my first concert was Sheryl Crow, and so that was kind of a big deal for me. I saw this chick who was up there playing piano and bass and guitar, and I never really realized that. I know it sounds weird and oddly, I should be saying this decades before now, but I didn't know girls could rock like that, and she's running all over the stage, and it really inspired me to get into music. Okay. And I grew up listening to classic rock, so the Rolling Stones, Tom Petty. I loved Mike Campbell's guitar playing, and Keith Richards, of course. So when I started playing blues, Stevie Ray Vaughan was there because he kind of worked his way into that classic rock camp. He was always on the radio, and so I kind of listened to who inspired him. And I really got into Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, and then further back, I fell in love with Delta blues, so Skip James and Charlie Patton. I think what I really I started finding my footing in the blues was when I got into Arl Burnside and Junior Kimbrough, and I was like, this stuff's cool, because it kind of met the punk rock and roll thing with the blues, and I was just into it. But I'm heavy into songwriters. I was inspired by people that I'd see in front of me. So guys like Tab and Mike Zito and Tommy Castro, Michael Burks, people that came to Kansas City. I would go to this club in KC called Knuckleheads and watch them, and that was, just seeing something in front of me was crazy inspiring. So. Yeah,
I can imagine.
There's a lot, man. It's hard to sum it all up, all the musical influences, but. It all just kind of rolls into me, I guess.
So do you being a woman and a female out there in a predominantly male world, is there any issues, any concerns? Is it difficult? Is it more difficult for you? I've only ever been a girl, so I only ever know it from my perspective. That's good. I like that. Yeah, that was gonna be a quote.
I've only ever been a girl, so I only really know the world from my. I'm sure. Sure, there's a lot of things that are easier for guys. I've been told that, there's been some doors closed because you're a female, but then there's some that open up because people are. I hate to call it it's not a gimmick. It's people say, that's a gimmick, you're a girl guitar player. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a gimmick. I'm just a girl. I can't help what I am.
Yeah.
But it does. When I was first starting, it kind of sparked an interest. Like, oh, here's this girl playing guitar. Let's check it out. So in some ways, I guess oddly, it works in my favor. But yeah, there's definitely, there's you're always fighting something. I guess we all have our own obstacles. So sure. Being a girl sucks sometimes.
Sometimes where you feel like you just need to get away right when you're on tour. You just need your privacy. Leave me alone. Just give me an hour.
Yeah, sometimes.
Are you able to get that?
On our days off.
Yeah, yesterday.
I think the last time I did that, I dropped the band off at the hotel. It was so mean of me. I was like, all right, I'm leaving, my phone died, and I just let it die. And I kind of went around Atlanta for a while, and that was nice. Everybody needs time to themselves, and you need to decompress from, because our work day starts when we wake up and when we go to bed, it ends when we go to bed, and we're driving and preparing, and there's a lot that goes into shows, as you know. So yeah, I try to steal away and have some me time if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a picture floating around Facebook of you going to check out Anders at the Crawfish Fest.
Yeah. We got there like an hour early, and I had to go. I love Anders. He's another one of those inspiring guys, and I had to go check him out. It's been a while since I've seen his show, and he sounded great.
As long as you stay a fan, you keep that passion going.
That's the only way I don't know, I feel like that's the only way you learn, is you keep taking stuff in and soaking in new music. I feel like that's really important. As a musician, I got to stay inspired, or I'm not going to do my job out there. So, which is to try and inspire others, or I don't know, make good music.
Do you have a favorite song on the new album?
I love.
Yeah, loaded question, I know.
I like the title track. It's really fun to play. Wild Heart's fun. They're all fun to play. It's just nice to get my hands on something new. As far as a favorite, when I was recording Go Home was like, it was kind of I didn't expect it to be my favorite, but when we finished it, I was like, that's my favorite song.
There's something about that song that's really moving.
Thank you. Well, we had some really cool things happen with it. I was telling you earlier that, when you're doing acoustics, like I'm singing and playing acoustic at the same time, there's no overdubbing my parts, because it just is what it is. So, it all happened really in, 1 or 2 takes with Brady and Luther. And then we got Chantel Norman and Reese Norman to come in and sing harmonies on it. And then, Luther played a little guitar. It was, by the time, we'd finished it, we ended up finishing it in Royal Studios in Memphis. And me and the engineer, Boo Mitchell, were just like, man, I was like almost crying. What Luther was playing, it was just so, like I said, he evokes with his instrument. He can evoke so many emotions. It was just kind of one of those really surreal experiences.
Yeah, I didn't know Luther was so talented. I knew he was very talented, but I didn't know he had the producing part. He could do anything. So this album you recorded in 3 different studios, so you sort of laid the basics from what I understand, and then you went
4 different studios.
Really? And then you finished it up in Mississippi?
Yeah, we did the bulk of the recording at Brady Blade's studio. He played drums on it in Shreveport, and then we went to Mississippi to do kind of a side session at Zebra Ranch at Luther's father's studio with Lightning Malcolm and Sade Thomas, and we did this kind of acoustic session, which a couple songs on the record are just straight up acoustic. And then we went up to Royal Studios where we got the backup vocals, and then we kind of finished up at Ardent, and we did a little more guitar tracking. It was kind of a little pilgrimage, a little journey. It was fun though. Me and Luther driving through Mississippi, through the cotton fields. It was fun. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
So,
you're building memories along the way.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. It was so fun.
That's awesome. One of the cool things is that you have backup singers on the album, which they sound so good. We
really wanted some girl power, some no frills, because like I said, his goal, my goal was to make something I could play live. So that means no keys, no horns, no crazy extra stuff. But the voice is something. We use the girls in places where it's like, okay, right here would use a B3. So you guys go in and they just filled out so much. It sounded great with them. They're pros. They grew up doing that stuff. So
yeah, some of the songs on the album seem like they're maybe a little difficult to sing live.
Like which one?
That's a great question, which I'm gonna have.
Some of them are.
This big pause out.
Sorry, because I can help you out with it.
I can tell you which ones I was thinking of. Roadrunner seems like it's a hard song to sing live.
It's a bitch.
Yeah.
It's a bitch. Because I have a problem. I'll write these songs in my hotel room when I'm all like quiet at night and I'm shut down. I'm like, okay, and I can sing all this crazy stuff because I'm just going, ooh. And then I'll get it to, a studio or where I'm practicing it live, and it's like, whoa, this is more difficult. So yeah, I had to work on Roadrunner a little bit. I'm still finding.
And then you're running around on stage trying to sing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who was that song written about?
Oh. Let me think. I'm gonna run all
There
over.
had to be a guy there. I mean, and I know it was a guy, but there had to be a specific.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I can't tell you exactly who it is because he might watch this interview and be like, "Bitch."
Yeah. So, cool. Come on. Who was it?
No. I'm not, I don't judge up
When
names.
in your life was that?
Wow, I've been with the same guy for forever. I mean, before that guy.
Before
the
guy.
main squeeze.
Yeah.
Before that, when I was young and stupid. So.
Yeah, you can tell that
Still
song
young and
is
stupid.
actually, a true story.
Yeah. Well, they're all sort of true.
Yeah, sort of true. But I mean, that one in particular struck me as like, okay, this is like right out of her life.
Oh man. Well, I think that's what I love about songwriting is that I can write something that might be about me, started about me, could go into something else, but as long as the person listening to it can take and be like, man, this affects my life in some way. This is my life in some way. That's my job.
And Blame It on the Moon, that seems like it's like a coming of age song.
Yeah. Well, where'd I get that line? I was talking to my merch girl Jamie, and we were talking about how everybody blames bad behavior on like the lunar status, which I think is crazy, but I don't know, it just started there.
That's a great song as
It's
well.
a squirrely song for sure.
Yeah, all the songs are just, and they have a flow to them, And I like, personally, I like your hard rocking songs.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I like when you just blow it out.
Thanks, man. I do
Yeah.
too. I like, like I said, I grew up listening to rock and roll. I'm a little punk ass at heart. I like to rock. So.
And you're from Kansas City originally?
Yeah, I'm from KC.
What do you miss about home?
When I'm gone, because I come home to it
Oh, okay.
from the road. So.
Yeah, what do you miss?
I miss my family. I miss my man. I miss my cats. I miss barbecue because got the best. I know everybody's got an opinion about that, but
I'm glad you have it.
yeah, there's a lot of things I
Do you have
miss.
siblings?
I do. I have my sister.
Older? Younger?
Yeah, she's a little older. She's 15 months older.
Oh, okay.
She sings too.
Does she?
Yeah,
Has
she's
she
got a
ever
band.
Been out with you playing?
No. She's got a great thing going on. She's got an upcoming band, which I'm really excited for, and she wants to forge her own path there, which I think is really great.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
How'd you get connected with Mike Delaney and your Fishocaster?
Well, I kind of give Mike Zito credit for like every gear connection I have because he's such a gear junkie, But he introduced me to Mike Delaney, and he introduced me to Don Ritter at Category 5, and a bunch of other things that I have. Like I'm looking at my pedal board going, Mike Zito. It's ridiculous, but yeah, he introduced me to Mike Delaney, and Mike was interested in building a guitar for me, and so I wanted something special. I wanted something that was kind of unique to me. So that's how we came up with that. I think they call it the SF1, which is a signature model, but people call it the Fishocaster because it's got the F hole with the fish.
Yeah, I've heard Mike call it the fish hole.
The fish hole, yeah.
The fish hole, yeah. And
That's about right.
The guitar has taken on sort of a life of its own, Everybody loves that guitar.
Man, thanks. I didn't know if it would or not, But yeah, people like the guitar. I mean, it's well built, The guy made it just for me, and it's exactly what I wanted. So I mean,
It looks a lot like a Telecaster.
yeah, I love Telecasters. I grew up. I had a Les Paul first, and then a friend in Kansas City built me a kind of like it was like a thin line. I wanted a G&L semi-hollow ASAC Classic Blues Boy something or other. And so he built me the closest thing he could possibly do to it, and it's so that kind of changed my playing right there. I mean, I started really getting into Telecasters, and I had some Fenders, and then Mike came along, and we just built this one up
It's
on
a
the
beautiful
ground. So
guitar,
yeah.
and it sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have any plans for maybe another one?
Yeah, I know. He called me and he said, we need another guitar, and I agree with you. Let's do it. So, I'm pretty slow with this kind of stuff. I really take my time and feel out what I want. And Telecasters, I mean, I've been playing those for years. So, if I want something different, I told him, you just have to be patient with me. I need to go out and figure out what I need and what I want. And that means I got to go pick up a lot of different guitars at the store and mess around with them.
And I'm sure
I get ideas. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, whenever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're working on something.
That's cool. Yeah. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That question's hard because I don't know. Hopefully I'm still playing music, I guess. Like, I go worst case scenario. What's the worst thing that can happen in 5 years? Well, best case scenario, hell. I have a sack of money and a big bus and a plane and no.
I think you want a plane. Yeah,
Playing music, writing songs. I want to get more into songwriting. I'd love to hear other people playing my songs.
That would be cool.
I'm into production. I'm just young and green at this point, so I need to spend some more. Oh no, go ahead. Oh no, I just need to spend more time in a studio. I need to spend time in there and learn, because I've only ever gotten the opportunity to work in the studio, I think like 4 times in the last, which is a lot. 4 times in the last 6 years is doing pretty good, but I like learning about recording and, just the process. It's fun. So I'd love to spend more time doing that, writing songs, performing, bigger venues, more people. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Do you like playing outdoors over indoors, or do you have a preference, or?
No, they both have their
Pluses and minuses.
yeah. There's drawbacks, but then there's I love playing outside. I mean, I love the wind. I love playing around the trees, and but inside's great too because we're at the Birchmere tonight, and it sounds incredible here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they have a fantastic sound system, and
I just love it, whether we're inside or outside. I love an energetic crowd. I really do. I love it when they get up to the front and they start jumping around and, and like playing with us, It's fun.
So how was Crawfish Fest?
It was great.
Yeah?
We played, we got to play the campers and crew only after party. So I was thinking, it's going to be crazy. These guys are going to be drunk and wild. And I was right. It was fun though. It was great.
Good.
Yeah.
There's a quote in the press materials for the new album, and I'm going to read it, and then I want your opinion.
Something right in front of you.
That's where the impact happens.
Yeah.
That's a quote from you.
Yeah.
So, do you think that happens while you're playing? Is it a conscious thing? I mean, do you realize it's happening when you're playing? That you're impacting the... Well,
I just try to remember who I was when I started going and seeing live music. And I mean, those are some of the best times I remember when I first discovered live performance and, some of the most influential. So, I try to remind myself of that because I think, you get in this every day, you start doing it. Sometimes it's easy to forget. I try not to, but we all get selfish and a little in our heads, and I'm thinking about, oh, my guitar's out of tune and it sounds like shit and this and that and this and that. Or we had a rough day, we drove all day, and sometimes you forget exactly what you're doing. So I always try to remind myself before I go on stage, that I'm so lucky to get to do this, and that these people are here. So now it's my chance and my turn to try and do what made such a big difference to me, to these people. So that's what I like to do, and hopefully I can, even if it's just one person or nobody. Maybe I'm not there yet, but
hopefully you keep
I'm working towards it
with people who remind you to stay humble.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's it's easy to be bitter, I guess. Right? You start getting used to stuff, but we're so lucky to get to play music, and I just try to remind myself of that all the time, and I feel like I'm very fortunate. So
that's good.
Yeah, humble. That's most important.
Yeah.
Gotta stay humble.
Who's out there that you haven't played with that you want to play with? There's probably a huge list, but who's on the top of that list?
Well, I've never jammed with Anders before, and we were just talking about him earlier. He's awesome. Man, you might have to pause me on this one.
Okay,
there's a lot. Hell,
Yeah.
John Hyatt is a big deal for me. I love him. As far as in other genres, I don't even know if those guys they probably don't jam much. It's not like we have such a cool scene, in the blues, is that everybody plays together, and there's a lot of this off the cuff collaboration. As far as maybe collaborators later, there's dream collaborators. I love. You want me to go big?
Sure.
Okay. All right. I love. I I love Tom Waits' songwriting. I'm all into songwriters. Like there's like Tom Waits, John Hyatt. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's go for the Stones too.
Well,
That's ambitious, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you just played one of their songs, right? The other night.
Yeah, we did. We started doing "Sympathy for the Devil"
Yeah.
as like our encore.
As a-
People were out there yelling "War Pigs."
Yeah, I know.
And I feel bad because but we played it for almost 2 years. I'm like, we got to put this baby to bed at some point, or they're gonna.
So it's off the list.
It's not off forever. I mean, you know, who knows? Maybe on a night we're feeling it, we'll do it. But we did it every night for a while.
Yeah.
It just got to the point where, like, all right, we got to stop, or we're going to be a Sabbath cover band, you know. So we shake it up. I looked at the set list the other night, and it was kind of an accomplishment for me. I don't know, it was odd, but I looked at it, I'm like, man, these are all original songs. Every single song on the set list was an original tune, which I thought I was like, that's never happened before. That's pretty cool, you know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's huge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe we'll do one of our songs for an encore. Who knows?
Cool. So are you writing a new album? Are you always writing?
Yeah. I try to keep the door open because, you know, I go through ebbs and flows with writing. But when I start writing, like the songs come easier and easier and easier. It's like going to the gym. You know, the more push-ups you do, the more push-ups you can do. So I try to keep the door open for, you know, for the songs to flow. But, you know, every once in a while I get a little stagnant and I'll forget. And I'm like, oh my God, it's been 6 months since I've even tried to write a song, and that's not good. Yeah, I mean, I'm always thinking about what's the next step and what are we gonna do, and you know, I try to be patient with myself because I get a little impatient, and I'm like, all right, gotta write all this stuff now. But you know, we gotta let life happen a little too.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise I'll be making the same record. So.
What's the writing process? Does it start with the lyrics or the music or both? Like, is it
I don't have a process. I wish I did. I wish I had a set way of doing it because that might make it easier. Maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes I'll get a melody and I'll sing it to my phone, and sometimes I'll get the lyrics and they'll be by themselves and they'll be sitting on a shelf for 9 months, and then I'll think of something to go with them. Or I mean, I've got notebooks full of lyrics, and my phone is full of lyrics that I'll never use because my best songs and the most natural songs came like together at once, which is really weird. Like I think it's just like the lyrics and the melody came together and it just sort of flowed out. And if when I get a song like that, I have to finish it, or it's like it'll be sitting there unfinished forever. But that was kind of the beauty of this record. I worked with a songwriter. A guy out of, he's from New Orleans, but he works in Nashville, and he's...
McCormick?
Yeah, Jim McCormick.
Yeah.
He's written songs for Trisha Yearwood, Keith Urban, kind of a big Nashville songwriter, and it was really nice to work with him. We had a great chemistry, super nice guy, we just clicked. But it was cool to see somebody else's process, and somebody who, that's what they do. He sits there and he knows how to craft a song. I mean, it was kind of humbling to watch somebody who that's their job. It was very cool.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Well, I could probably sit here and talk to you all day, although you don't have all day.
I don't know what time I don't know what I have anymore. It's 5-ish.
Yeah, you have to eat dinner and get ready.
I do have to eat dinner.
So I'm going to get out of your hair, but I really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to the show tonight.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping we get the DCers out. We'll,
the place is going to be packed.
Good,
Yeah.
good, awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.